Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're doing well. We are continuing the Hannibal series, of course, the Second Punic War, History March. We just saw Hannibal take care of a couple tribes on his way to the Alps, and now he's got to cross the Alps. And when he crosses the Alps, he's going to be in Cisalpine Gaul. I'm glad you're here. Make sure to hit that like button. I appreciate all of that. Let's jump right into it, shall we?
Marched his forces over the Alps, Hannibal would soon turn the Italian peninsula into a war zone, in a campaign that would elevate him to a general of legendary status.
Price of death on the battlefield is to depart from life in the heat of the fight. So like an out-of-body experience.
It is the year 218 BC. As Roman legions under consul Tiberius Sempronius Longus sail south to invade Carthage itself, Gnaeus Cornelius Scipio Calvus is consolidating Rome's position in Iberia, while his brother, consul Publius Cornelius Scipio, rushes back to the Po Valley to take command of the Roman army there and stop Hannibal. Both sides are confident of victory.
Part 2. Across the Alps.
Although the Carthaginians are faced with serious setbacks in Iberia, in Gaul Hannibal speeds up his approach to the Alps when he befriends the Allobroges tribe by adjudicating in a dispute between two royal brothers over who should rule.
Interesting. I know once they get to the Alps, they're going to have some issues with some people, but not yet.
The seemingly grateful new ruler of the tribe, Brancus the Elder, provides the Carthaginians with supplies, warm clothes, food, and guides. And so begins Hannibal's perilous journey through the Alps. But as the ascent begins, Brancus's friendly guides turn home. Here, Hannibal shows he is as skillful in mind games as he is in generalship. Sensing an ambush, he sends
so this is what we're talking about.
Scouts ahead who report that the tribesmen are indeed mustering their forces just ahead on higher ground near their settlement, waiting to attack the passing Carthaginian column. With a select group of experienced troops, Hannibal sneaks up to a position overlooking the tribal settlement and plans his next move. As nightfall...
Who would live in the Alps? I mean, I'm sure there's people that live in the Alps today, but I guess it's just a territorial thing. I don't know why I said that, but I don't know. Seems harsh.
He signals his army to proceed marching. Spotting the movement, tribal sentries raise the alarm and, just as Hannibal had hoped, an attack begins on the Carthaginian column. Expecting the impending attack, Carthaginian troops below stand fast on the precipice. A swarm of tribal warriors smashes into their solid defensive line, the initial push throwing many...
I'm not attacking that thing, talking about the elephant, yeah. Elephants are not supposed to be crossing the Alps. Not typically.
Over the cliff's edge. But the Carthaginians hold their ground, and the tribesmen soon realize that they have fallen into a trap. Hannibal rushes downhill, while Carthaginian troops from below simultaneously begin pushing uphill. Many tribesmen are cut down in a matter of minutes, their morale broken by the lightning-fast Carthaginian counterattack. With the enemy driven off, Hannibal and his men turn their attention towards the village. They storm the tribal settlement and seize all of their winter provisions. At dawn, the Carthaginian march resumes. Over the following 3 days, the marching column continues unopposed. But all that changes on the 4th day, as the Carthaginians enter a narrow gorge, where they are met by several tribal chiefs who offer friendship, hostages, and guides. Suspecting that the Gallic tribes from these parts are no friendlier,
Yeah, I think he's gonna have his wits about him now.
Hannibal accepts their offer, but takes precautions by secretly moving the vulnerable baggage train and cavalry to the front of the column, and positions his heavy infantry in the rear.
Smart.
As the Carthaginian march continues through the extremely narrow pass, the 200-meter vertical cliffs ominously tower over them.
Oh, I think this is where they're gonna get rocks thrown at them.
And they are not alone.
Oof.
The Gallic warriors are watching from above. Having set up an ambush further up the gorge, the tribesmen bide their time, shadowing Hannibal's army for 2 days. But suddenly, at a very narrow point in the gorge, the Carthaginian column gets blocked from the front as the tribesmen unleash their attack.
That is by the tribesmen, that is a very smart attack. The most narrow place, you're bottlenecking them, and you can't see there's an oh, that was smart.
Rocks and projectiles rain down from the cliffs above onto the Carthaginians below, killing many in the process. Animals panic and trample over soldiers who hopelessly look for cover. The main Gallic force appears behind the Carthaginian column and charges their rear, expecting weakest resistance there as they hope to loot and destroy their supply train.
What a smart tactical move by Hannibal.
But again, Hannibal proves he is one step ahead of his opponents, as the heavy Carthaginian infantry he previously placed in the rear pushes back the Gallic charge and inflicts heavy losses on the enemy, forcing them to retreat after a brief battle. Hannibal then urges his men to push forward out of the killing zone, as the barrage of rocks from above continues.
Jeez.
It is not until 1 day later that the Carthaginians finally reach safety on the other side of the gorge.
Yeah, like a hellfire mission.
The last of the Allobrosia's attacks is beaten off, but the remorseless fighting against the Gallic tribes took its toll on Hannibal's army. To make matters worse, the weather soon turns as winter comes early. Hannibal's troops find themselves battling heavy snowstorms. Traversing through rocky gorges and steep mountain slopes, many are swallowed by treacherous voids lurking just under the snowfall. Men, animals, and wagons slip and slither on the ice towards precipitous ravines and treacherous chasms.
And a lot of these people have never been around snow, as far as I would know. Especially North Africa. Like North Africa, especially like thinking about the elephants. The elephants are not even biologically fit for this environment.
Finally,
but they do have thick skin.
9 days into the march, the Carthaginians set up camp just below the top of the pass as they wait for stragglers to catch up. 2 days later, Hannibal rallies his troops at the top and points to the panorama of Italy below. There he vows to his men, "You will have the capital of Italy, the citadel of Rome, in the hollow of your hands." And with that, they begin descending towards the Po Valley. But the slopes on the way down are far steeper and largely covered in ice.
Yeah, I think it's something like the way down was even more formidable than the way up, because I don't know, maybe you're underestimating the way down, or you have too much confidence, so you're less cautious. But so many people died in this little Alp. I'm wondering, like, I would love to see like a pie chart percentage of the people who died by disease, the people who died succumbing to the cold, the people that died that succumbed to the tribesmen, or XYZ. Like, I bet you it's a huge variety of death reasonings for all of this.
The treacherous terrain claims the lives of many more troops and animals. Adding to the hardship, a collapsed stretch of road forces the Carthaginian column to stop for 3 days amidst freezing conditions while the road is repaired. But finally, after braving these horrific conditions, the Carthaginians reach the foot of the Alps. Having lost nearly half of his army, Hannibal takes stock of his troops who suffered terribly during the crossing. Of the 45,000 that set off through the Alps just 16 days ago, only 26,000 made it to the other side.
Half! Jeez.
There, the Roman army awaits.
And that's where we're going to stop today. I know it's a shorter one, but really want to unpack these into episodes versus longer documentaries, just so we can pace and talk about the episodes itself versus the entire thing. This was very interesting to see, kind of like, just like he could have, there's so many different ways Hannibal could have gone to Italy, but no one expected him to do this. He did it. He did it. Hannibal went through the Alps with 37 elephants, 45,000 men, and came out 26,000 men. I wonder, did any elephants die? I don't think so. But the elephants, those are huge animals, like 15,000 pounds. Those things could have been spooked by the rock throwing. It depends on which type of elephant, if it's like an African bush elephant or just an African regular elephant. These elephants, I just can't get like, they are meant to be like these huge deterrents of war, and they crossed, like, how did they climb? I guess there was a path. Most people live here, so they've made paths before, but it's just insane to think about. It's such a foreign thought for this to occur, and it did. What do you guys think about the Alps? Is there any particular details that are not shown in this video? Let me know. I'd love to learn more. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a good rest of your day. Peace out. Goodbye.